a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Hybrid, Scott Washington. Hybrid is a fictional anti-hero appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. Scott Washington first appeared in The New Warriors 1 by writer Fabian Nicieza and penciler Mark Bagley. The symbiote first appeared in the backup stories in the Venom, Along Came a Spider miniseries by writer Evan Skolnick and penciler Patrick Zircher. Publication history. Created by writer Fabian Nicieza and penciler Mark Bagley, the Guardsman Scott Washington appears in The New Warriors 1, 526 and 6. In 1996, as Hybrid. He is the main character in the backup stories in two miniseries Venom, Along Came a Spider and Venom, The Hunted, all written by Evan Skolnick. In 2007, he is mentioned in Civil War, Battle Damage Report. Hybrid is also mentioned at the conclusion of the first issue of Carnage USA along with Venom, Anti-Venom, Toxin, and his sister Scorn, as being the next option to stop Carnage's rampage in the Midwest after the Avengers are defeated. He has an entry in all new official handbook of the Marvel Universe A to Z Gorgon to Jury, and an entry in official handbook of the Marvel Universe A to Z HC Volume 05 Guardsman to Jackal. Fictional character biography. Scott Washington was one of the guardsmen involved in guarding and transporting Justice, who had been arrested and sentenced to the vault for killing his father. Hybrid is the amalgamation of four of the Life Foundation symbiotes whose hosts were killed by Scream into a single symbiote entity. The fused symbiote then sought out Scott Washington, an African-American man who was a guardsman at the Vault Lab facility. While guarding the symbiotes, he realized that they were not evil, not a threat, and the experiments were causing them terrible pain. So he let them go. When his superiors discovered that Scott had released the aliens he was supposed to guard, he was fired. He returned to the Bedford-Stuyvesant section of Brooklyn, the gang-torn neighborhood in which he grew up. Following a basketball court scuffle with members of the Easy X gang, Scott and his brother, Derek, were shot. Derek was killed while Scott became crippled, losing the use of his legs. The four symbiotes afterwards located Scott and bonded with him, which resulted in Scott regaining the ability to walk, and more since Scott has a lot of anger. So often the symbiotes hold him back from acts of violence, not the other way around. Since his symbiote was originally four different entities, Scott has to contend with four different voices, personalities in his head besides his own. As Hybrid, Scott got revenge on the Easy X's, the gang that had crippled him. He began to get a lot of press attention, and while most of the publicity was positive, it drew the attention of the jury. He was captured by these self-appointed guardians of justice, who would have executed him just for being a symbiote. But he was rescued by the New Warriors. Scott was a former co-worker of Curtis Elkins and other members of the jury. Justice offered him membership in the group, but Scott declined, citing more important work to do in his home neighborhood. Scott Washington was considered as a potential recruit for the Initiative program. Eddie Brock hunted down and murdered Washington as part of his goal to eliminate the evil of the symbiotes from Earth. The four symbiotes that made up Hybrid survived and, with assistance from a clandestine military group, are separated and turned over to the United States government. Later, with Venom and Toxin missing, the group decides to use Hybrid to contain Carnage's rampage in the Midwest during the 2012 Carnage USA miniseries. The separated symbiotes are assigned to four different military soldiers, each given a different role in apprehending Carnage. Teaming up with Scorn, the newest symbiote host from Carnage's first limited series, they are sent into a town Carnage has taken over, with orders to kill their brother, if necessary. With help from Venom and the Avengers, the team succeeds in capturing Cletus Cassidy and the Carnage symbiote. After Carnage goes on yet another murder spree, he ambushes the Mercury team in their own home base and dismembers them. Although the symbiotes survive, he does the same to Deadpool, who is hunting him. The hostless symbiotes revive Deadpool and turn him into the new Hybrid. After using the symbiotes to defeat Carnage and Shriek, Deadpool gives them to the dog owned by the Mercury team and instructs it to bring the symbiotes to the governmental bigwigs who know how to take care of them. Powers and abilities. Like Spider-Man and Venom, Hybrid has wall-crawling and web-slinging abilities, and can form pseudopodia or tendrils to create snares and bladed weapons. Hybrid also has the ability to camouflage, such as its ability to mimic clothes on the person it has bonded with. It also has a borderline warning sense and can see through symbiote itself. Hybrid can also detach a piece of itself to send messages to allies, and can change shape to form a membrane that allows it to glide through the air. The hybrid symbiote can also absorb various materials and chemicals, such as Spider-Man's synthetic webbing. Like most of its symbiote counterparts, such as Venom and Carnage, Hybrid has superhuman strength. When the hybrid symbiote bonded to Scott Washington, he regained his ability to walk, which he had lost during a gang fight. After the death of Washington and being forcibly separated, the symbiotes became catatonic, and no longer retained their sentience. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?